What's up guys, Dave here from Knives, Gadgets, and More, and today we're going to compare two knives. Alright guys, so as you can see we have here the Civivi Bullmastiff and the CJRB Crag. And we're going to compare these two knives today. We're going to go through several different features of them. And then this is going to be kind of a classic review between Civivi and CJRB, which are two affordable sub-brands of more expensive brands. I think it's Wee Knives for Civivi and Artisan Cutlery for CJRB. But anyway, these are two great knives. These are two knives that I bought. We're going to go through them today. We're going to talk about several different features and compare them. And then at the end of this comparison, I am going to tell you which of these two knives I actually prefer. I do like both, but I do have a clear favorite on this table. And like I said, at the very end, I'm going to tell you which one I like more. All that being said, let's start the comparison and let's begin by talking about the blade steel that you get. So we'll start with the Bullmastiff from Civivi. The blade steel that comes on this one is 9CR18 MOV, which is a pretty good blade steel. It is a Chinese steel, but from my understanding, it is a good quality steel that resists corrosion well, holds an edge well, and takes an edge well. So I think the steel that you're getting on the Civivi is pretty good. And yeah, I don't think you're really getting shortchanged when it comes to the blade material. Now as for the CJRB Crag, the blade steel on this one is AR-RPM9. And that I believe is a oh there it is right there. And that I believe is a proprietary steel from CJRB. And from what I can tell, it's a very good steel. It's said to resist corrosion well, it holds a good edge, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good steel for a folding knife like this. So really, I think both of these knives have pretty good steel. I think they both have an appropriate steel for the price point that you pay for them. And out of the two, I'm not really a good enough expert on knife steel to tell you which one would come out the winner. So I think it's kind of a draw in this category. I think both are pretty good, and personally, I'm happy with both. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the blade shape. Obviously, both of these knives are cleavers, and I'm a huge fan of these folding cleavers. I don't know why, it's just a type of knife that I really like. I have a bunch of them, and I'll probably get more in the future, but I really love these little cleavers. There's just something about them that I think is so cool. But even though both of these knives are cleavers, they still have a completely different feel and a completely different look and aesthetic. So with the Bullmastiff, you've got a cleaver that starts off kind of narrow and then widens out as it gets toward the tip. I think it looks awesome. It looks super unique. It looks really cool on a small folding knife like this. It also has this kind of fuller right here, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's a flat grind all the way across. It does cut very well, and you still have that fine point at the end to use too when you need to. So yeah, I love the blade shape that comes on the mini Bullmastiff. I think it's super cool, super unique, and yeah, it's just awesome. Now that being said, I also like the blade shape that you get on the Crag. Again, it's still a cleaver, but it's a completely different look. Here the cleaver kind of stays the same throughout the whole length of the blade, maybe even narrows a little bit. You still have a nice fine point to use, and you still have a flat grind that almost goes across the whole blade. This knife also cuts very well, and overall I really like the look of this one as well. I think it looks super cool too. I mean, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't think it looked cool, so. So when it comes to blade shape, we've got two cleavers, we've got two good cutters. It really comes down to a personal preference of which one you think looks better, which one you think looks cooler. For me, that's gonna be the Bullmastiff. I think it looks awesome, it's really unique, and I don't know, I just love it for some reason. So based on the looks alone, not performance, I'm gonna give the win in the blade shape category to the mini Bullmastiff. Alright, the next category we're gonna talk about is the handle, the scales. So with the mini Bullmastiff, we've got G10 scales, and they do offer you a good amount of texture. When you're holding them in your hand, they feel very comfortable, and I think they look really sharp. I love the blue color that I chose to get. I think it sets this knife apart a little bit. You do have a lanyard loop right here, if you want to use it. I think the fit and finish on these scales is very, very nice. And when we look at how thin they are, they're pretty thin. And what that means is that this knife will carry very, very nicely in your pocket. And I've carried this knife a ton, and that is definitely the case. This is a great knife to carry around. And yeah, I really love the scales that come on this knife. Another important feature that I'll point out is that Civivi puts chamfering around the corners on these scales, and I feel like that adds a little bit to the looks. It makes it look a little nicer, and it actually makes it feel really nice in your hand too. It's a very, very comfortable grip, and at the same time as being comfortable, it's also pretty thin, which again makes it very easy to carry around. Now as for the Crag, it also has a really great looking grip, and you can get these with G10, just like the mini Bullmastiff. But on this one, I chose to go with carbon fiber scales, and I think they look awesome. This knife's all blacked out, looks great along with the blade finish, which I believe is a PVD finish, which is also very cool. But yeah, the carbon fiber scales are smooth, so you're not getting a lot of texture, but they are comfortable, and I think they do give you a pretty good grip on this knife. You do have a lanyard loop, just like you do with the mini Bullmastiff on the Crag, and there you can see how thin the scales actually are. They're okay, but they're not quite as thin as the ones that come on the mini Bullmastiff. On top of that, you don't have any chamfering here, and even though this is not uncomfortable when you're holding it, I can feel a difference between the two. The mini Bullmastiff does feel more comfortable to me, and I think that chamfering along the scales, which this one does not have, I think that adds a lot to the grip. Now again, that doesn't mean this is an uncomfortable knife to hold. It's very comfortable, but we're comparing these two knives. We're gonna nitpick a little bit, and I think overall I prefer the grip on the mini Bullmastiff. I like the G10 more, it feels better in my hand, and I like the way it's shaped and chamfered more. I think it's a little bit more comfortable. I also think it's more thin, and that makes the knife carry just a little bit more comfortably in your pocket. So in terms of the handle, it's going to be another win for the mini Bullmastiff. Alright, next let's talk about the locking mechanisms. So on the mini Bullmastiff we have a liner lock. You do have a little bit of texturing right there. It's very easy to move over and close the knife. And then to deploy, you have a flipper. And I love how smooth this knife deploys. It's very, very smooth. It swings open pretty much effortlessly. I can sit here and fidget with this knife all day long, and I really love the feel of this knife and just how smooth it deploys the blade. Now lock up when the blade is deployed is good. There's no wiggle. When it's closed, looks fairly centered, but yeah. Deploying this blade is super fun. It's buttery smooth. I really love the way this knife feels when you deploy the blade. Now when it comes to the Crag, it's also a liner lock. It's also very easy to close, and let's check the deployment. We do have a flipper. It's also very smooth. Feels great, really snaps out in a positive way. And yeah, this is another knife that has a really great deployment. It's very smooth, and I think it's very, very good. Now let's check the wiggle. No wiggle on this knife. Let's close it and check the alignment. Looks pretty good. But yeah, this is also a very smooth knife to deploy, and I am very happy with it. Now with all that said, out of these two, which one do I think is better? I think the deployment on the mini Bullmastiff is just a little bit better. Again, both of them are very good. I like both. I bought both. I do like the deployment on this knife. It is very good. Snaps out nice and positive, but there's just something about the Civivi which it just feels extra smooth. I don't know why, I don't know what was done, I don't know if it's just this knife, but it feels great and I really, really like it. But to be fair, that's a great deployment too. I'm very happy with it as well. But again, we're nitpicking, the winner's gonna be right here. All right, next thing we'll talk about is the clip. So on the Civivi Mini Bullmastiff, we have a deep carry clip. It has some cutouts, which maybe save a tiny amount of weight and just look kind of pleasing to the eye, in my opinion anyway. It does set you up for tip-up carry, and it can be swapped easily to the other side. So good job on the clip from Civivi. I think they did a great job. Now as for the Crag, we also have a deep carry clip. We have a little access hole to get to the screws easily if you want to use them. We are set up for tip-up carry, and you can easily swap it to the other side as well. So once again, we have a very good job on the clip by CJRB. Not too much difference in terms of clips. Now I do want to show you guys what these look like when they are clipped into a pocket, so let me do that now. Alright, so there we are. Both of them basically disappear. Again, we've got deep carry clips. They both go in easily. And yeah, both of these knives do carry very well. I do know, just from experience, that the Civivi Mini Bullmastiff is more comfortable to carry. But that doesn't mean that the Crag is bad. It's not the smallest knife in the world, but it is still just a folding pocket knife. So it's very easy to carry around as well. Both of them sit very low with the deep carry clips. But yeah, because the Mini Bullmastiff is a little bit more thin, it is super easy to carry around, and out of the two, it's just more comfortable. Now, part of the reason it is more comfortable as well is because it's a smaller size. So we can obviously see, when comparing these two, that the Mini Bullmastiff is going to be smaller than the CJRB Crag. And of course that is going to contribute to how it feels when you're carrying it around in your pocket. And yeah, the Mini Bullmastiff is super easy, super comfortable to carry around in your pocket all day. The Crag's not bad, but out of the two, the Mini Bullmastiff wins for comfort. Now when we have the blades deployed, you can also see the difference there. The Mini Bullmastiff is a much smaller knife, and the Crag's a larger knife. Now you get a larger blade because of that too, and you also get a larger handle. But yeah, if you're trying to decide which knife would be more compact, it's definitely going to be the Mini Bullmastiff. It's significantly smaller than the Crag. Alright guys, and that takes us to the end of this comparison, and I told you at the beginning that I would tell you which of these two I actually prefer. And the one I prefer is the Mini Bullmastiff. So runner-up is going to be the CJRB Crag. Don't get me wrong, this is an awesome little knife. I love it. I'm glad I bought it. I think it looks super cool. Cuts great. Still easy to carry around in your pocket. Feels good in your hand. But out of the two, my favorite is going to be this one, the Mini Bullmastiff. It is a little bit more lightweight. It's a little bit smaller, which makes it easier to carry. It's a little narrower, which also makes it easier to carry. I also think the blade shape makes it a little bit more unique. I love the way it looks, super cool. And I also think the deployment is just a little bit more smooth than the one on the Crag. So yeah, out of these two, my favorite is going to be the Mini Bullmastiff. I still like the Crag, love it, awesome knife, glad I bought it. But yeah, no question, the Mini Bullmastiff is going to be my pick out of these two. It is my favorite of the two. Let me know in the comments if you think I made the right choice or not, and let me know why. But yeah, I love both of these knives, but this one especially is a really, really cool knife. Now, if you're interested in either of these two knives, I will leave links in the description below. Those are affiliate links, and they do help out the channel. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in the next video. See ya.